I'm going to try and get 2 points of views on that. Dr. Ruchika Sharma, historian, academic, specializing in medieval Indian history, particularly Mughal history. She's written books on it. I also have Dr. Pranay Aggarwal, who is an educationist. And I want to bring in Dr. Pranay Aggarwal because, you know, what also Dr. Sharma just, touched on is it's not just Mughal history, viewers. There are chapters of protest in India that have been taken out. So I would think young kids would not even know what the Chipko movement was all about, because most chapters when it comes down to protest have also been removed along with Mughal history. So I want to go to Dr. Pranay Aggarwal, who's actually of the opinion that it's a great thing. But Dr. Aggarwal, away from the rhetoric of it all, that, oh, we need to focus on Indian dynasties. Why did we over-amplify the Mughals in our culture? The fact, Dr. Aggarwal, I'm sure you're an educationist and you know, is that the Mughals did play a huge role where medieval history is concerned. What one really fails to understand is how will children learn about medieval history? Because that is what the 7th standard was supposedly the subject of medieval history, where you're not even talking to them about the Mughals.
Preeti, I'll begin with the observation, with the cliche that education makes a man. So whatever I am today in large measure is due to my education, and I think I speak for each one of us when I say that. Coming specifically to the changes in the NCERT textbooks, I would say it is a very welcome development, but it is, the way I see it, it is too little too late. In fact, much more needs to be done. Our history textbooks, they are infamously distorted and partial, I would say. So, while it's a glad departure from the days of Prakash Javadekar, who in 2018 had said, I have not changed even a comma as the education minister. But I hope that this time these changes are taken to its logical conclusion. You see, there are many conspicuous omissions in our history textbooks particularly. So I hope the project of broadening and making Indian history more inclusive and, should I say, more complete is done till the end. For example, much of Indian history is Delhi-centric. Right? So we are taught in great detail about even obscure Delhi-based dynasties like the Lodhis. But we know very little from our official, the history we are taught about the Vijayanagar Empire or the Satavahanas or the Ahoms of Assam. Right? These very great dynasties, they are literally reduced to a footnote in our history textbooks. Similarly, you see, because of the Delhi emphasis, land-based invasions we know a lot about. But maritime history of India is, should I say, somewhat downplayed. And with our long coastline, our engagement with the rest of the world has been through, for example, with Southeast Asia, has been through the oceanic route, which is somewhat, I would say, ignored. So, and another thing is that I hope that these revisions are not reversed because of criticism from the left, which dominates Indian academic spaces and Indian civil society as well. Also, Preeti, now why these revisions were important? Firstly, to correct historical imbalances, I would say. So since independence, literally, Indian history textbooks did not pay adequate attention to glorious indigenous dynasties, right? And that is what is now being rectified. So we are trying to restore the balance by giving due importance to India's own civilizational achievements. When you are highlighting the Magad or the Mauryas or the sacred pilgrimage sites, you are showcasing the cultural and the spiritual heritage of India, right? So it instills a sense of pride in India's timeless civilizational existence. Also, it helps to promote a rooted national identity. Children first should understand their own country's ancient cultural and political evolution before learning about foreign rulers. So these changes that are being done in the NCERTs, I would say, they will help to build a rooted and confident Indian society, which is essential if we are to come up as a rising power on the global stage. Okay. Right? Another thing is that, when you're talking about the sacred geography, which is being accused of saffronization and whatnot, I would say when you're talking about the Char Dham Yatra or the Jyotirlings in our textbooks, you are emphasizing the spiritual geography and how it unites us. For example, the linguistic, the whole divide over Hindi imposition, etc. There are far more what should I say, fundamental aspects which unite us. One of which is the sacred geography. Okay. So that national integration can be fostered through how we teach our history to our children. So I'm afraid that Dr. Sharma had misquoted or misunderstood some of what I had said. Nowhere had I suggested that the Satavahanas, etc., are not mentioned in our history textbooks, but there is a relative imbalance in the kind of importance different dynasties have been given, which needs to be rectified. That was my point. Secondly, Dr. Sharma misquoted me again when she said that I had suggested that foreign rule should not be taught. Absolutely not. I would never make such a suggestion. What I am suggesting is that, which nation in the world does not teach about its own civilizational achievements to its children? Whether you look at France, it teaches about the Gauls and the Franks, and China teaches about the Qin and the Han dynasties. So why should we shy away from teaching about our golden periods like Guptas or Mauryas? That is the point, right? And it is nobody's case that Mughal history should be deleted in entirety. Of course, it needs to be retained, right? So, and let me clarify, the way I see it, Muslim history is not being erased. Muslims remain an integral part of India. Muslim history remains an integral part of our history, right? So what is happening is a project of completion and expansion of our textbooks by including the other dynasties and giving them sufficient space. Please appreciate India's civilizational history is 5,000 plus years old. It is not confined to the period of the Delhi Sultanate or Mughal rule. So we need to make our history textbooks more inclusive, right?
All right.